Welcome to our weekly discussion of all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray. Joining us this week, reporter Emily Hoeven, political expert for CalMatters.org. Emily, the elections are coming up. Do you suspect that the state of California, the education system, were holding back on the release of public school test scores because the election was coming up? You guys were really on this.
You know, every year students take these tests that measure their progress on English and math and other things like that. And those were kind of delayed because of the pandemic. And so this year was the first time we were going to have a comprehensive look at how students' academic progress has been during the pandemic. And so, you know, normally they will release it in the beginning of the autumn, and we weren't getting those numbers. We were asking them, along with EdSource, when are you planning on releasing these test scores so people can have information heading into the election about how they want to vote for superintendent of public instruction and other positions? And they said, oh, we'll release it before the end of the year. And then they decided to backtrack, and they reversed it recently. You know, they were kind of facing pressure that they were trying to hide that for political reasons. And we did see that there were the expected drops in both English and math. However, there was less of a gap between disadvantaged students and other students, which does seem to suggest that the state's funding formula, which puts more money towards low-income and disadvantaged schools, does have some kind of effect that is positive.
Okay, with the election coming up in not too distant future here, November the 8th, are you seeing any poll numbers that are shifting one way or the other on some of these big things that we all have to decide on?
I think we're seeing voters get increasingly negative. They're souring on several of the biggest propositions on the ballot this year. So we had a poll come out this week from the Public Policy Institute of California that showed the two big sports betting measures, Proposition 26, which is in-person gambling at tribal casinos and horse race tracks, and Prop 27, which is online sports betting. Both of those fell significantly underwater with voters, even more than before. And so it really looks like they're not going to pass. And same with Proposition 30, and this was the measure to tax millionaires to fund electric vehicle rebate programs and other climate initiatives. And that one saw a very precipitous drop and is now also polling below the watermark with voters. And so it looks like that could fail as well. So I guess voters are not super interested in gambling or higher taxes.
No, well, the higher taxes definitely they're not interested in. As we approach Election Day, are people most concerned about the economy? Tell me about the economic concerns in the state.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are seeing that voters have told pollsters over and over again that inflation and jobs in the economy are their top concerns for the state, even though, you know, some other groups, like including Democrats, have been trying to make abortion a central issue here in California. We're seeing that voters are really responding to gas prices, grocery prices, things like that. And although Governor Gavin Newsom came out this week and said that the state is poised to basically become the world's fourth largest economy, moving up one step from where it is now, there was another report that came out and showed that more than 25% of Californians are living in or near poverty. And even though the state's unemployment rate has dropped to a record low of 3.9%, that's partially because more people have left the workforce. And so that has, you know, there's still job openings that people aren't able to fill.
Yeah, I read somewhere recently there's 2 job openings for every person that's looking. So yeah, if you're looking for a job, this is still a good time. Emily, thank you so much. CalMatters is a nonpartisan news organization explaining California policies and politics. Find their work at CalMatters.org. You can also sign up for Emily's newsletter there.